Warning. The following video contains imagery of graphic and intense sexual violence against female planeswalking necromancers. Viewer discretion is advised.
It was in the midst of our first black president, Obama's first term. The country was finally healing from the disastrous Bush era.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Wokeness was not yet a thing. Instead, the left deployed an army of righteous champions called social justice warriors, or sometimes white knights, to police the internet for any sign of racism or especially sexism. Some of these nerdier SJWs knew they had to keep an eye out on Magic the Gathering, who at the time had a penchant for printing misogynistic magic cards with sexualized women designed to appeal to the male gaze. So when the Avacyn Restored card Triumph of Ferocity was spoiled in April 2012, many people asked how such a triggering card that glorified sexual violence could have ever made it to the printers. Just the idea of a man in a fantasy setting overpowering a woman, even though she was just as formidable, reeks of rape imagery. It doesn't even matter that there's a companion card called Triumph of Cruelty. Sure, it can be argued in Triumph of Cruelty that Liliana is forcing undead minions to hold Groot down so that she can pleasure herself with his gigantic member as she insults his looks. Good for her though, you go girl, fuck men. I mean, I've been in abusive relationships with manipulative, narcissistic women, but I deserved it because I was born with a penis. Anyway, back to Triumph of Ferocity. It's obvious that the artist intended to depict a woman about to be raped, even if the official Innistrad story says otherwise. No amount of context can undo this despicable glorification of sexual violence. And look at the flavor text.
Rid me of this curse, witch, or die with me.
Everyone knows in 16th century France, die was often used to mean orgasm. So it is obvious to even the most modestly cultured individual that Garuk is really saying, rid me of this curse or orgasm with me. The subtext being that women are nothing more than pleasure objects for men to rape. After much outrage on social media, Wizards brand manager at the time, Elaine Chase, went on Twitter to apologize.
Regarding Triumph of Ferocity, Wizards and I apologize for the upsetting situation related to card imagery. In light of the community conversation, it can clearly be viewed in a way that is in direct opposition to the brand image we strive to maintain. This was absolutely not our intent, but intentions don't override the real emotional reactions our fans have. While the bigger story provides context, individual cards are seen in isolation. That is the standard each card needs to live up to. In hindsight, this story point could have been depicted in a less real-world related and emotionally charged way. We will take this as a learning opportunity and strive to do better in the future.
But as Rich Stein from Histories of the Coast put it,
sorry doesn't cut it. Until we're willing to do what it takes to bring more women into the decision-making process as equally valued members of our society, you're going to see a lot more Triumph of Ferocity.
Thanks to brave men such as Rich speaking out, Magic players got to experience the golden age I talked about in the woke history of Magic the Gathering. And yes, Triumph of Ferocity was given new art. While the new art is an improvement, to me it is still a problematic and sexist depiction of the male power fantasy. What can you do to stop sexism in Magic the Gathering? Vote Democrat in the next election. Mom, I'm trying to do some left-wing grifting on the YouTubes.